Hello and welcome to the Dubai Autodrome for this qualifying session ahead of the final two races of the 2017 TCR International Series. Hello again everyone. This is Mark James in the commentary box taking you through the two sessions, Q1 and Q2, which will decide the grids for both of tomorrow's races. And I should start by apologising that we're slightly late. Issues with some of the support categories. There have been races and also qualifying here in Dubai today. An incident during one of those sessions a little earlier has bumped everything on, so we're about 15 minutes later than we originally planned. So fingers crossed that's not spoil your enjoyment too much and that you're with us wherever you're watching around the world, whether you're online or with one of our broadcast partners. Welcome to this penultimate, the final qualifying session, I should say, ahead of the two races tomorrow. 21 cars entered then for the two races, and all 21 down to take the start. No technical issues from both free practice 1 and free practice 2. A couple of fines handed out, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. One engine change of note, but no penalty for Dan Lloyd from Lukoil Craft Bamboo. The engine changed as a result of force majeure, the stewards decided, because of an incident in race 2 in China. What was that, 3 weeks or so ago? So that's the backdrop then. Air temperatures hovering around 29, 30 degrees, track temperatures of 33, and reasonably dry. It feels quite comfortable, actually. Talking to some British expats who now live out here, and they were saying that this is actually the relatively cool season in Dubai, so we're not faced with the searing 50-degree temperatures of the summer. The Dubai Autodrome, the layout that we're using this weekend, the national circuit, 3.5 kilometers, 14 turns, and the circuit will decide the TCR International Series champion for 2017. Will it be that man? 18-year-old Attila Tashi, currently second in the series, 21 points behind Jean-Carl Venet. A rather subdued Attila Tashi so far today. Free practice 1 had him with some kind of engine sensor problem. When I spoke to David Barry, the team boss, he was saying that he was confident that the guys could fix it, but Tashi nowhere really anywhere of note in free practice 2. And so is he preserving his tyres? Is he just keeping something in reserve, or does that car have a problem? We'll find out in the next 35-40 minutes or so. The usual two-stage qualifying. If you're new to TCR, this is the way it works. 20 minutes of Q1, in which all 21 cars take part. There's then a 5-minute break before Q2, when it'll be the top 12 from Q1 going through, and the top 10 then from Q2 will form the grid for race 1, and the reversed top 10 will form the grid for race 2 tomorrow. The biggest loser, of course, is whoever qualifies 11th, because that's where they will start for both races. There are the 3 Lukoil Craft Bamboo cars. There is James Nash getting his balaclava on. I mentioned David Barry from the Mira Racing team. He's talking to Alfredo.
David Barry, not an easy start of the weekend.
No, actually we are fighting a little bit to find the grip on this circuit, but I think everyone is fighting with the same problem. We hope for the best. The goal is to go through the Q2 and then to be in the top 10. So in the reverse grid, we can find and win some good positions.
And what are the chances of Attila Tashi tomorrow?
We try to help a lot for him, and I think we found something. He also found things in his driving. With the setup, we are trying to help his style. So we'll see, fingers crossed, and we are hoping for the best.
All the best.
A slightly subdued David Barry, talking there to Alfredo. And talking about the reversed grid, well, of course, that may be too little too late, because Jean-Carl Venet could clinch the title in race 1 tomorrow, depending on what happens, A, in qualifying, and B, to the guys around him. Now, it's currently a 4-horse race, as well as Venet and Tashi, the reigning champion, Stefano Camini, and that man, Roberto Colciago, are still in the running for the driver's title. But the Leopard WRT team must be confident that they'll win at least one title tomorrow.
Pierre Dieudonné, one of the top managers of WRT. This is your first time leading the team in the TCR International, I think.
Yes, indeed. This is the last race of the season, and so I came back. I came here to support the team, and because there is a lot of stake, obviously, this weekend.
And of course, you are playing the title with Jean-Carl Vernet. It's a position you know well. Some decades ago, you were winning the top touring car championship in Europe at that time.
Yes, indeed, that is a very, very long time ago, but nothing changed. When you come to the end of the season and you have a championship finale, it's always a little bit more pressure. Yeah, a lot of things can happen. The environment has completely changed. No, we are in a different world, but racing is still the same, and human being hasn't changed much. So we have emotion, we have a lot of pressure for the drives, and it's very good that the sport keeps on going like that. Yes.
And for sure, experience will help. Thank you, Pierre. All the best.
All the best to all the teams.
Nice sentiment from Pierre. Talking again to Alfredo. And there are the two Leopard WRT cars, Jean-Carl Vernet in car number 2, and joining the team for this final race weekend of the season, Gordon Shedden from the United Kingdom, 3-time British touring car champion, taking the place of Rob Huff, who's been JK's teammate for much of the year. Rob racing somewhere else this weekend, so it's Gordon Shedden who stepped up and seemed to be fairly quick in both free practice sessions, although he was saying that the car is understeering. They think they know what the problem is. And so he said if we can sort out the understeer issue, then the car will be a lot quicker. And that's where he needs to be, right up with JK. And can they clinch the title in race 1 tomorrow? 3 titles up for grabs. We've talked about the Drivers' Series. There's also the Teams Championship. And there's also the TCR Model of the Year, which will be awarded at prize giving here in Dubai tomorrow night. A scramble to get out of the pit lane. The light has gone green, so the start of this 20-minute Q1 session is underway. The car's streaming out of the pits and leading them away. Car number 1, the reigning TCR champion Stefano Camini, who is quite resigned to the fact that it will take a miracle for him to retain that title. 3rd season in TCR, 3rd different car for Stefano Camini. And the team saying, actually, there he is. The team come to you saying it's been our first year at this level and we're quite pleased with the way things are going. But Stefano, I suspect, certainly from his body language last night, would like an awful lot more from this season. Frederick Vervisch there in the other come to you Audi, quickest in free practice 1 this morning. And his young Belgian teammate, Denis Dupont, in the come to you Seat, in the colours of RACB, the junior team from Belgium. He was quickest in free practice 2. But you have to say that the 2 Hyundais, which were so quick in China on their debut in the International Series, what, 3 weeks ago, were they sandbagging in free practice? We will find out in the next half an hour or so. There is Dupont. And there I said the colours of the RACB national team. Marc Duez, former race rally driver, former race director of TCR International in the first year. He is here to act as driver coach for Denis and doing a great job, you have to say. So, Colchargo and Tashi. Colchargo in the white Mira car, Tashi in the black car. Still in with a chance of the Drivers' Championship. Although all eyes, you have to say, would be on Tashi after that brilliant double victory at his home event in Hungary. Will the pressure get to him? Have they sorted out whatever the issue was? Certainly I'm used to David Barry, the team manager, being a lot more upbeat than we saw him in his interview a few minutes ago. And there is the 3rd team car joining Mira for this weekend, the triple TCR champion Josh Files. He's won TCR Germany back-to-back and also won TCR Middle East here in the early few months of the year. Files performing the same job as Gordon Shedden in Leopard WRT. Rear gunner for his teammates to try and take points away from the others. Lukoil Craft Bamboo out of the hunt for the driver's title. It's an unfamiliar position for them because in year 1 it was Pepe Oriola who took the fight right the way down to Stefano Camini. And in year 2, last year, James Nash it was who took the fight to Kamini and was leading into the final round at Macau, but it was Kamini that emerged victorious. They might be out of the fight for drivers' honours, but Lukoil Craft Bamboo second currently in the teams championship, but with a strong lineup, including those two drivers, Colchago and Tashi. You have to say Mira Racing have to be favourites to take the teams championship. So they go across the line then at the end of their first flying lap. Attila Tashi, quickest so far. Then it's Colchago. Gordon Shedden splits the two, as does James Nash. So Tashi still quickest. From Nash, Shedden, Colchago, Vinay is P5, Dan Lloyd 6, Duncan Indy 7 in the Seat, then Josh Files, then Oriola. In fact, only the top 7 down as far as Duncan Indy have actually set representative lap times. And Tashi so far with a 1:34.38. And there on the left-hand side of your screen is a reminder of the top 12 that'll go through to Q2. Mato Homola, P10 in the Opel. But lap times spread out so far, so we can't really read too much into those top 12 positions just yet. A little more helpful, the extended timing screen going below the top 12. And that's DuPont getting slightly crossed up. I suspect that's turn 6, which is where we saw Dusan Borkovic get it massively sideways in free practice 1 this morning. So there's James Nash, currently P2. Colchago has gone quickest with a 1:29.066. Jean-Carl Vinay, though, goes quicker still, a 1:29. Also a 1:29.06. Gordon Shedden, a 1:29.314. So it would appear that Leopard WRT have sorted out the understeer problem on Shedden's car. So Leopard WRT 1 and 2 at the moment. Dan Lloyd 3rd, James Nash 4th, David Kajaya 5th. Replaced immediately by Stefano Kamini, as I said that. So Kamini 5th, Kajaya 6th, Colchago 7th, Duncan Indy 8th. And that's Benjamin Leuchter, as Gianni Morbidelli goes P2. Looking at James Nash, just getting it unsettled over the bumps. And again, this is turn 6, the square right-hander. Richard Coleman, team boss of the Craft Bamboo outfit, here this weekend and then off to Macau to see his GT team in their season finale. So a busy man, and the air miles situation for Richard will look very positive at the end of this weekend. There is Vavish then. Gold in sector 1, green in sector 2, crosses the line, goes P2. So Vinay from Vavish, from Morbidelli. Tashi now up to 4th, which makes life a lot more interesting. Aurélien Comte we've hardly spoken about in this session. Aurélien Comte in the DG Sport Competition Opel Astra. Then Shedden, who's dropped to 6th, then Dan Lloyd, then James Nash, then Ben Leuchter joining West Coast Racing for this weekend, then Kamini, as Pepe Oriola goes P1. Oriola quickest in all 3 sectors as Vavish chucks it into turn 6. There is Oriola, having done a 1:28.819. Josh Files is now P2 on a 1:28.991. And those two drivers, I think, the only two men to break the 1:29 barrier. So Oriola from Files. Leuchter goes P3. So the predictions that the Volkswagens and Aurélien Comte in the Opel goes P1 with a 1:28.743. Lap times tumbling almost as quickly as I can read them. Denis Dupont in the Seat goes P6. Ahead of Vavish, Morbidelli, Tashi, Shedden, Lloyd and Kamini. The two Alphas at the moment outside the top 12. There is Gabriele Tarquini, currently languishing down the order, having done a couple of laps, but nothing of note. In fact, Tarquini outside the top 18, P20 at the moment. As is Alain Menu in the sister car, the number 33 car. Venet goes quickest again. Jean-Carl Venet on a 1:28.457. Quicker than on my timing screen. Yes, indeed, yours has just caught up. Oriola now P2, Shedden P3, Files P4, ahead of Leuchter, Dupont, Vervish, Morbidelli, Tashi and Comte. So it's as you were. Jean-Carl Venet. This is Q1, remember. If he can do the same in Q2, then race 1 tomorrow could well decide the series. Leuchter up to P3, and Leuchter brought into the team for his experience in the Golf, having won the TCR class in the 24 hours of Nürburgring. Alain Menu goes quickest. We thought that the Hyundais were hiding a little of their performance, to put it mildly. And Tarquini also on a charge in the second car. Green in both sectors 1 and 2. Alain Menu at the moment. Tarquini goes P3 behind Venet. So it's now Alain Menu, Jean-Carl Venet, Gabriele Tarquini, Hyundai, Volkswagen, Hyundai. Then it's a Seat of Pepe Oriola. Then Leuchter in the Volkswagen, Shedden in the Volkswagen, Files in the Honda, and Denis Dupont in the Seat. That is Morbidelli coasting to a halt, I think, with a front left puncture, or is he struggling around to get back to the pit lane? Still out on track at the moment as Vervish comes in. We're almost exactly halfway through this first stage of qualifying. Alain Menu currently quickest from Jean-Carl Venet, Gabriele Tarquini, Pepe Oriola, Ben Leuchter, Gordon Shedden, Josh Files, who comes into the pits as I speak. Also in the pits, Denis Dupont, Frederic Vervish, Gianni Morbidelli, who's made it around. Tashi's also in, as is Aurélien Comte. There is Venet on the left of your screen, allowing Nash and Gordon Shedden through. There is Morbidelli's damaged front left, but there didn't seem to be any bodywork damage, so it should just be a case of getting a new wheel and tyre on, and then Gianni can be back out. Currently P9, so and Tarquini having a lap disallowed, and in fact his quickest lap has been disallowed because of track limits. So on your screen, the timings at the left are wrong. I couldn't quite work out why my screen and your screen, there you go, didn't quite tally up. Tarquini then put back down. So his teammate Alain Menu still quickest, Jean-Carl Venet second, Oriola is third, Ben Leuchter is fourth ahead of Shedden, Files, Dupont, Vervish, Morbidelli, Tashi, Comini and Lloyd. Those are your top 12 at the moment. And again, just referencing back between the two screens, I have Morbidelli in 9th, and you have him in 11th. Who knows? There is Duncan Indy in the Icarus Motorsport Seat. Indy at the moment P19. Just checking to see if Morbidelli's had a lap disallowed, which would explain for the discrepancy. But no, indeed. Aurélien Comte currently P11. Colchargo, you saw there, currently P18 as Tarquini heads out of the pits. And Colchargo sensing the championship slipping away from him. In fact, his championship could be over at the end of this qualifying session. Colciago goes into the session 46 points down on Vernet, 5 points on offer from qualifying for pole position, 25 on offer for the race victories. So a total of 55 on offer for this weekend. But depending on what Vernet can do, currently P2, with Colciago P12, as Aurélien Comte improves to P5. Colciago improves to P11. Still a discrepancy between the timing screens, so you'll forgive me, but if I'm referring to something that doesn't look right, on my screen Colciago is P12, but that's irrelevant because he will go through to Q2 as things currently stand. Morbidelli, P11. Now, this is where the screens are finally starting to tally up. Gianni Morbidelli, P11, ahead of Colciago, P12. Dusan Borkovic on a bit of a charge. Gold in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. What can Borkovic do? Currently P17 in the Alpha. Can he get it through into Q2? There he is, coming down towards turn 14, scattering pieces of discarded rubber out of the way as he comes around the right-hander. Onto the start-finish straight. Dusan Borkovic heads for the line. Can he improve? Can he get up into the top 12? Crosses the line now, and does so. 9th for Borkovic. And importantly, potentially, nudging Colciago out of the top 12. So, with under 5 minutes of the session remaining, Alain Menu still quickest ahead of Jean-Carl Vernet, Attila Tashi, Pepe Oriola, Aurélien Comte, Benjamin Leuchter, Gordon Shedden, Josh Files, Dusan Borkovic now, Denis Dupont, Frederic Vervisch and Gianni Morbidelli. Lloyd it is who goes P3, nudging Morbidelli out of the top 12. And a bit of a wiggle from Borkovic as he locks up. Trying too hard, possibly, as we're looking at Panis in the Boots and Gignon Honda as he comes around turn 14. Aurélien Panis currently P18. Comes up to the line. Just improves up 1 position. So Panis, who starred in Buriram, winning race 2, thanks to the reversed grid, but no such fairy tale here in Dubai at the end of the season for Aurélien Panis. Now, what you can't see on your timing screen is that Gabriele Tarquini is currently P21 as Vervisch improves, and indeed, just as I was talking about Tarquini, he goes P1. So no issues, I don't think, with track limits this time. I'm watching the timing screen for any notes to come up, but it's currently 1-2 for Hyundai in this first stage of qualifying in Dubai. Gabriele Tarquini, quickest from Alain Menu, Jean-Carl Vernet 3rd, Dan Lloyd 4th, Attila Tashi 5th, Pepe Oriola 6th, Frederic Vervisch 6th, Aurélien Comte, Benjamin Leuchter, Gordon Shedden, Josh Files and Dusan Borkovic are the other drivers that currently stand to go through to Q2. Denis Dupont, green in Sector 1, gold in Sector 2. Dupont at the moment P13. Wow, Denis Dupont, after having gone quickest in free practice 2, does the same again in the first stage of qualifying. Denis Dupont in the Seat Leon run by Come To You Racing, quickest so far with a 1:28.154. nearly 3/10 of a second quicker than Gabriele Tarquini. What can the two Audis do? The two come-to-you Audis. They cross the line, and it's Comini who goes P5, towed by his teammate Frederick Vervish. Both the Audis currently in the top 12, and so will go through to Q2 as we watch Dusan Borkovic getting turn 6 all wrong. He throws the car into the right-hander. And then hard on the brakes for the even tighter right-hander at turn 7 that follows, as we're looking at James Nash going through turn 2. So, a bit of a change in the order as we're into the final minute and a half of this Q1. Denis Dupont still quickest ahead of Gabriele Tarquini. Ben Leuchter it is now who is third ahead of Alain Menu. Jean Calvinet is 5th. Then it's Comini, then Lloyd, Tashi Morbidelli, Oriola, Vervish, and Aurélien Comte in P12. Gordon Shedden at the moment outside the all-important top 12, as is Josh Files, as is Borkovic, Homola, Colciago, Nash, Panis, Kajaya, and Duncan Indy. The latter two, Kajaya and Indy, off the bottom of your timing screens. Morbidelli, you saw there, P9. James Nash outside the top 12. Can he improve? A good Sector 1 time, let down by his Sector 2. What has he done in turn 3 as the timing screen corrects itself? Tashi goes to P8. Nash heads for the line. James Nash just sneaks into P12. He will have one more lap. Can he improve? The seconds count down. Checkered flag moments away as Colciago goes quickest of all in Sector 1. Checkered flag has fallen, so Nash has this lap. He's currently in P12. Oriola is P10 and Lloyd is P7, so all three of the Lukoil Craft Bamboo cars are going through. Tashi P8. Colciago P18, so really does need to improve, and he's doing just that. Gold in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. He turns up the little link section that enables the national circuit to leave and then rejoin the international. It's the national circuit that we're using this weekend here in Dubai. So Colciago coming down the hill into turn 14. Around the final turn, a little bit untidy, taking to the curbs, heading for the line. What can Colciago do? No, indeed, he's lost it. He's taken the checkered flag, and so Colciago will not go through to Q2, and that surely is the end of his championship bid. The man ahead of him in the point standings is Stefano Comini. He will go through in P6. Nash grimly hanging on in P12. Borkovic, he's taken the checkered flag. Only a couple of drivers, only two in fact. Kajaya has not taken the flag as yet, nor has Alain Menu. But at the end of this 20-minute Q1, Denis Dupont quickest from Gabriele Tarquini, from Ben Leuchter, Alain Menu, Jean Calvinet, Stefano Comini, Dan Lloyd, Attila Tashi, Gianni Morbidelli, Pepe Oriola, Frederick Vervish and James Nash, the 12 that will go through to Q2. And of the men in the battle for the driver's title, 3 of the 4 have gone through. But of course no points awarded at the end of Q1. We'll have to wait and see what happens at the end of Q2, the little 10-minute thrash that will decide the grids for both of tomorrow's races. A disappointed Colciago, but was quite philosophical when he spoke to us yesterday. He has retired from racing once, remember, but doesn't regret his decision to come back, and also says that he's not lost his passion, his appetite for winning. Colciago, 3-time victor in the TCR International Series this year. Unfortunately, it was the accident in Oschersleben which forced him to miss the 2 races in Thailand with broken ribs. He's still not recovered from that accident. Speaking to him yesterday, he's still in some discomfort, but at least is able to drive. But he's not the only driver to suffer with broken ribs during the season. Jean-Carl Vernet, after that big accident in the Salzburg ring, when he hit the tyre barriers, which also, the same event saw Rob Huff rolling the Volkswagen. And so, a race weekend to forget for Leopard WRT. But Vernet at least not forced to miss any of the race meetings that followed, unlike Colciago. And he must be wondering, without that incident in Oschersleben, in which he was right in the middle, which I think is putting it kindly, without that incident, he wouldn't have missed the tie races and would potentially be up there scrapping for the TCR International Series crown. So then, we're into the 5-minute period between Q1 and Q2. Now remember that the two Hyundais are transparent, as they keep referring to them. And so Tarquini and Menu, even though they are P2 and P4, not going through to Q2. And so I was saying it's down to James Nash. Well, it is, of course, down to P14 if you take those two out of the equation. So Aurelien Comte and Gordon Shedden will also go through. You see there Tarquini, P2, Menu, P4. So they drop out. They will be starting 13th and 14th on the grid for the two races tomorrow. But you'll see, there we are, Nash in P12, Comte 13 and Shedden in 14 going through. And the man who loses out is Josh Files. So let's talk to Roberto Colciago. Disappointed, I suspect, at missing out. He's with Alfredo.
Roberto Colciago, not making it to Q2, you must be disappointed.
Of course I'm disappointed, but I have a big problem with the car. That I can't drive like I want, so this is why I can't win.
Any chances left for tomorrow?
Well, I will tell you tomorrow, finish the race.
Okay, thank you.
Unhappy Roberto Colciago. We'll try and find out what the problem was with the car as he heads off to talk to his engineer. As we're already into Q2. Green lights are on, first cars are out. This little 10-minute thrash then will decide the grids. The top 10, remember, for race 1, reverse top 10 for race 2. Whoever qualifies 11th will start from 11th in both races. So all three of the Lukoil Craft Bamboo Seats out. Both Morbidelli and Leuchter in the two West Coast Racing Volkswagens are there. There is Tashi. So the big plan of having Tashi, Colciago and Josh Files in the three Mira Racing Hondas having not worked. Files not having gone through, and you saw there a bitterly disappointed Colciago. There are the cars parked up on the left of your screen. So Tashi on his own in Q2. Now the championship can't be decided in qualifying, even if Vernet qualifies on pole and gets the 5 points, and Tashi is outside the top 5, there would still be the 50 points on offer for tomorrow's two races. But what Vernet can do is, depending on the result of race 1, he can secure the title in race 1. But I suspect that this qualifying session, depending again on what Vernet does, will confirm that Colciago is out of the running for the Drivers' Championship. Similarly, Comini will still be in the running after this qualifying session again, even if Vernet is on pole, because Vernet, if he gets the 5 points, will then be 47, excuse me, ahead of Comini with 50 on offer tomorrow. It's a tall order, but as we saw in Macau last year, anything can happen. Comini telling us yesterday that he really needs a miracle, but not giving up until it's mathematically impossible for him to win the title. The focus then from Craft Bamboo Lukoil. is the Teams Championship. They're 69 down on Mira. And the sight you saw there was Andrew Chisholm, the team manager, relieved, I suspect, delighted, although that didn't look to be the expression on his face, to have all three of his cars go through to Q2. What can Oriola, Nash and Dan Lloyd do in this second stage of qualifying? So down to turn 14 then to start their first quick lap. Morbidelli quickest so far, with Oriola second. Exactly 2/10 at the moment between Morbidelli and Oriola. Vernet is third. Denis Dupont goes quicker though. Dupont does a 1:28.256, which is just over a tenth quicker than Morbidelli. So Dupont in the Seat, Morbidelli in the Volkswagen. There is Pepe Oriola's dad, also Pepe, as Aurélien Comte in the Opel Astra goes across the line now. He went gold in Sector 1 and P2 behind Dupont for Aurélien Comte. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers as Gordon Shedden goes P1. A 1:28.055, 2/10 up on Denis Dupont goes Gordon Shedden. So clearly he's got the measure of that Volkswagen, and they've sorted out his understeer. As Kamini goes across the line, goes P6. Frederick Vervisch goes P8. Tashi P9. So exactly as David Barry was saying, they're looking at the reverse grid situation for race 2. What can Vernet do? Because at the moment he's P7. Shedden then from Oriola, from Dupont, from Comte, Morbidelli, and Vernet goes P2, Leuchter goes P3. That was Tashi going through, P9 now, so front row for race 2 if things stay as they are. But by then it may all be over. That man, Jean-Carl Vernet, may already be TCR champion by race 2. Comte again picking up the pace. Gold in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. He comes around turn 14, heading up to the line. Comte at the moment, P6. No, indeed, loses it in Sector 3. So what about Shedden? Green in Sector 1, gold in Sector 2. That's Shedden in the background. And improves again Gordon Shedden. 1:27.849 breaks the 1:28 barrier. So Shedden doing all he can to help Jean-Carl Vernet. And look at that on the left of your screen. Shedden ahead of Vernet, 1 and 2 for Leopard WRT. And you just know that if things stay as they are, there will be a point at which Gordon Shedden will say, off you go, mate, all yours. But there is the small matter of 3.5 minutes, just under, of this Q2 remaining. There is Vernet. He heads up to the line. Green in Sector 1, lost it in Sector 2. Green in Sector 3, but it's not enough. So Vernet with a 1:28.045, almost exactly 2/10 down on Shedden. Still Leopard WRT 1 and 2, but Shedden ahead of Vernet. Then it's Leuchter, West Coast, in a Volkswagen. So VW's 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. Then it's Oriola, Seat, Dupont, Seat, Comte in an Astra, then Morbidelli, Volkswagen, Dan Lloyd, Seat, Kamini, Audi, Tashi, P10 in the Honda. And that would put him on pole for race 2 if things stay as they are. But by then, it may be beyond him. James Nash, P11, Frederick Vervisch, there he is, P12 at the moment. Vervisch, quickest of all in Sector 1. So currently quickest, Shedden on a 1:27.849, with race 2's pole is Tashi as Vervisch comes into the pits. Surely not enough time to go back out, so that's it for Vervisch. Had enough. P12, thank you very much, I'm parking up. Nash, having gone quickest of all in Sector 1, 4.5 tenths down in Sector 2 as Vernet goes quicker in Sector 2, his best Sector 2 time. Can he improve? Nash goes up to the line, currently P11, doesn't improve, nor does Vernet. Just over a minute and a half of this session remaining. TCR International Series 2017 will be decided here in Dubai tomorrow afternoon in the 2 races. Currently on pole for race 1 is Gordon Shedden, 3 times British Touring Car champion, guest driver for Leopard, WRT, with his team leader and the man poised to take the title, Jean-Carl Vernet, second. Ben Leuchter, West Coast Racing, Gianni Morbidelli's teammate. Leuchter is third, ahead of Oriola, Denis Dupont, Aurélien Comte, Morbidelli himself, who is on a charge. Green Sector 1, gold Sector 2, around turn 14. Morbidelli heads for the line. And improves to P5. So Morbidelli, middle of the top 10 for him for both of tomorrow's 2 races. Well inside the final minute now of this session. Can anybody budge the 2 Volkswagens? Leopard WRT 1 and 2 at the moment. Shedden ahead of Vernet. And Shedden doing exactly what he was brought to Dubai to do, to get into a position to help his teammate secure the title. Attila Tashi, still 10th currently, so still on provisional pole for race 2, into the final 10 seconds. Because we're looking at Denis Dupont. Dupont currently P6 in the Seat. A little bit ragged coming over the curbs at the exit of turn 15. Crosses the line. Doesn't improve. 6 tenths down or thereabouts. So Denis Dupont will be 6th on the grid for race 1. 5th on the grid for race 2 tomorrow. There is Shedden in the 73 Volkswagen. Morbidelli improving though. Gold in both sectors 1 and 2. The checkered flag has fallen. What is Morbidelli going to do? Currently 5th. No, indeed, doesn't improve. As Shedden gets waved into the pit lane. So, Shedden having taken the checkered flag. Vernet still out on track. Leuchter in the pits. Oriola and Morbidelli have taken the checkered flag. Denis Dupont still out. Comte has taken the checkered flag. Lloyd and Comini are in the pits. Tashi's still out. Nash is still out. There he is. Currently P11. Heads for the line. Can he improve? No, indeed. So Nash will start both races from 11th on the grid. And looking at the points positions, Jean-Carl Vernet gets 4 points for qualifying in 2nd place, which means that he is exactly 50 points now ahead of Colchago, 46 points ahead of Comini. It's a big ask, but it's still mathematically possible for Comini. And Tashi, no points for 10th, so the gap between Vernet and Tashi has grown, has grown to 25 points. So race 1 could indeed secure the title for Jean-Carl Vernet tomorrow. But for now, all eyes are on his teammate, Gordon Shedden, sporting the Scottish flag on the rear window as Alain Menu pops across to say well done. And what a debut in the TCR International Series. When was the last time we saw the Knock Hill website advertised on the TCR International Series feed? As Gordon Shedden gets out of the car, very happy. Well done, Gordon, job done. And a brilliant decision by the team to replace Rob Huff with Gordon Shedden for the Dubai races. having quickly assimilated the car, having got to grips with the Volkswagen, having sorted out that understeer problem from this morning. Gordon Shedden with a 1:27.849 is our quickest man in qualifying, and so will start race 1 tomorrow from pole position with his teammate Jean-Carl Venet alongside him on the grid. And race 2, by which time it could all be over, we'll see Attila Tashi start from pole with Stefano Camini start alongside. Fireworks, I suspect, will be guaranteed in that race. Let's get the confirmation, though, of the results from Q2. Gordon Shedden and Jean-Carl Venet, 1-2 for Leopard WRT. Ben Leuchter, great debut from him, P3, ahead of Oriola, Morbidelli, Dupont, Comte, Lloyd, Comini, and Attila Tashi rounding off the top 10. Nash will be 11th in both races, and Frederick Vervisch in the other Come To You Audi will be P12 in both races 1 and 2. So let's hear from that man, Gordon Shedden. What a brilliant debut in the TCR International Series. He's talking to Alfredo.
Gordon Shedden, first appearance in the TCR International and pole position.
Yeah, left it pretty late. You know, obviously 14th after the first part of qualifying, but to go and put it on pole position, it's great. It's brilliant for Leopard Racing. It's great. We've got a 1-2, and JK's right up there for the championship as well. So perfect result in qualifying.
And tomorrow, what's going to happen?
Well, hopefully going to have some great racing. Sun's going to shine. We're going to enjoy it and yeah, have some fun.
You are there to help Jean-Carl, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully use some of my experience to help. But he's very capable himself, so it's not a problem.
I'm sure of that. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Good try, Alfredo. He wasn't going to say that he was going to pull over, was he? Congratulations from the team. Nice job. I'm sure Nigel Clyde is there somewhere, the race engineer. As they line up the photo opportunity, you can see the smiles say it all from the guys from Leopard. JK there, quick to congratulate his new teammate. And is that the moment that we can start to think about JK as the TCR International Series champion for 2017? He's done what he needs to do, his teammate has done what he needs to do, and the two Volkswagens from Leopard WRT will start race 1 here in Dubai tomorrow from pole position. Confirmation of what I was saying a moment or two ago. Venet is now 25 points exactly ahead of Tashi. Comini now 46 down, and title chances slipping away as they are for Colciago. Not impossible, because there's 50 down, but 2 wins tomorrow from Colciago outside the top 12. Almost impossible. So I think we can finally say that it's going to be a 2-horse race for the 2017 Drivers' title between Jean-Carl Venet and Attila Tashi, and it could be all decided in race 1 here in Dubai tomorrow. We run through the drivers' points for you, but it's all eyes on the 2 men at the head of the leaderboard. Venet, 25 points now ahead of Tashi, as Gordon Shedden lifts the Pommery pole position sign to mark the pole position man. There is Nigel Clyde, his race engineer, on the right-hand side. Nice job, Nigel. Nice job, Gordon. And Jean-Carl Venet, surely now,
Cheers, thank you.
just a half-hour or so race away from becoming the 2017 TCR International Series champion. Tarquini's car is pushed away in the background for the scrutineering checks. Those checks will be performed on both Shedden's car and Venet's car. And I wonder if Alfredo is going to try and have a chat with him. Yep, surprise, surprise. Let's see if we can put a microphone under Jean-Carl Venet's nose. Go ahead, Alfredo.
Jean-Carl Venet, not too bad for tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good qualifying, but couldn't hope better. Maybe pole. Second time my teammates overtook me in the last minutes in the qualifying. No, but it's great effort from the team. Congrats to Gordon. I mean, it was his first time here. Did a great job. Improved a lot between Q2 and Q1, and he beat me. So now it's great. Now we can start to think about what we're gonna do tomorrow if we take a good start. I don't know the grid for tomorrow first race, so we'll see. But I think, yeah, like we said before the race, we just try to do like every weekend, and yeah, there is no more pressure than usual. So no, it's good. Let's see tomorrow.
Okay, all the best. Thank you.
Well done then to Leopard WRT. 1-2 in qualifying in Dubai. And what's going to happen tomorrow? 2 thrilling races here in Dubai in prospect. We hope you'll join us here in the UAE for the final 2 races of the 2017 TCR International Series. We'll see you tomorrow.